It's Jackson here with some very important news. We're moving to a brand new channel, and this is going to be our very last episode on Charlie's channel, the one that you're probably listening to it on right now. You may be wondering why and why now. I'm here to answer those questions. This is because we'd really like to post additional varied content that isn't just the official podcast, as well as clips and shorts from the last few years. We feel like we can do more stuff overall from our own channel, and we'd like to move into a more independent position. In terms of new content, we've got a brand new series in the works with a brand new host who was previously one of the most beloved guest hosts we've ever had in the official podcast history, and you'll get to see that on the new channel when it's ready. You'll also be able to listen to the first 7 episodes of the new series that's been airing exclusively on Spotify and our Patreon, currently called Podophiles, there as well, where we review the predators who were caught by Chris Hansen in the hit TV series from the early 2000s called To Catch a Predator. I want to stress that currently nothing is changing about the official podcast itself, and we're still going to be uploading to our audio platforms where most of you currently listen to the show all the same. We're just moving YouTube home. This means we'll still be uploading the show weekly, and if you're a Patreon member, you'll still get episodes early and you'll still get bonus episodes as well. Really, nothing that much is changing with the show itself. The links are below to the new channel. Please come subscribe if you like the show, and thanks so much for the support over the last 7 years. This show truly has been my entire adult life at this point. We started it when I was 18. So being here on this channel since the very beginning and now moving is a massive change. And I'm and the boys are so appreciative of everyone that has ever tuned into an episode and chooses to move along with us to the new channel. It really means the world to all of us on the show that you've joined us on the official journey. And we can't wait to try some new things that hopefully bring you some level of joy and entertainment. Thank you all for tuning into the official podcast, and we hope to see you at the new channel. Otherwise, back to the episode. Hello everyone, welcome to episode 356 of the official podcast. It's a special day. It has been about 30, probably 20 episodes, I think, without a guest. I've broken the dry spell and I've brought on a great guest for you all today. He goes by the name Summoning Salt on YouTube. He is the world's preeminent expert on speedruns and stuff like that for video games. He's an excellent video essayist. Welcome to the show, Salt.
Thank you guys for having me. And you forgot about the Mike Tyson's Punch-Out part, but that's okay.
The fuck,
yeah,
Jackson?
True. Okay, he's the
what the fuck is wrong with you?
Running world champion. Fuck! God damn it! I hate this fucking show.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
we
my
prep
bad.
every episode beforehand. We vet guests for days, and this is what you bring us. Oh my goodness!
I'm sorry. Oh man, guys, I'm sorry. That was on me. So, Salt, tell the world what your biggest achievement is. Go over it real quick, just so they know to take you seriously.
I hold the Mike Tyson's Punch-Out speedrunning world record.
For how long?
7.5 years.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, and don't be modest, because this guy also has it in like
impressive part.
Yeah, in like 9 different categories of the game as well. Not just the regular old playthrough. This man is a wizard when it comes to Mike Tyson's Punch-Out.
Well, I have it in the really impressive ones like 90-minute challenge and Tyson challenge and all these categories we made up to make me feel good and have more world records. So.
This modest man, he doesn't even bring up the actually impressive one, which is blindfolded as well.
Yeah. All 4 of my competitors have been battling to get that one for me for years now. So,
oh man,
what is the strategy with the blindfolded run? Is there any strategy, or is it just luck?
So yeah, a lot of those fights are predictable. Like they do not necessarily the same thing every time, but there's like a range of moves they can do. So if you know what they can do, you can kind of set up your inputs so that you can account for everything they can do. And yeah, and beyond that, there's some audio cues you can listen for, and a couple times where you just have to know what the timing is and do it as best you can.
Well, but it all has to be like based off audio cues, right? Like like the audio cues tell you what kind of attacks are coming or what kind of moveset is coming?
There's some of that, but it's not like every punch they do an audio cue first. It's nothing like that. So a lot of them, it's just you have to know when they're coming out, and then you can also buffer some inputs to make certain dodge. You can dodge certain punches very easily by chaining and buffering inputs together. So it's a mix of different things.
So how did this start? How did Punch Out start for you? Like, what was your in there?
Oh man, probably watching old GDQ runs. Actually, Sinister One ran blindfolded Punch Out back at, I think it was AGDQ 2014. So watching him do that kind of got me into running the game. And then I tried it myself. And like I was telling you guys earlier, it's a really random game. So it kind of turns into a gambling addiction over time. And now I've been doing it for like 8.5 years, and here I am. And yeah, I don't really know why I'm so hooked on it, but...
Do you do it daily at this point?
No, not every day. I go through phases with it. I'll do it every day for a few months, and then I won't play it for, 4 or 5 months.
So I've always been curious about this with speedrunners, right? So speedrunners show like just an incredible amount of dedication to one game, usually. That's like their entire thing. They just main a game and play it endlessly to just perfection. Do you play other games, or are you just Punch Out?
I used to, and now I'm too addicted, and I don't really do anything but Punch Out at this point. It's pretty sad.
So it's
Like,
just Punch Out. Like, so you've got no interest in like Cyberpunk 2077 or the incredible year we've had in gaming because you've been playing a game from the 80s nonstop for the last 8 years. I don't really play
any modern. I used to play modern games. Like I used to play the first Destiny when that came out.
Oh, my man. Yeah, cool. Glad you got out of that addiction. It's bad. Let me tell you what.
Yeah, I love that game though. Honestly, it was so flawed, but
yeah,
there was some fun stuff there. But yeah, I mean, I really haven't. I mean, I don't own a Switch. I don't own a PS5 or whatever. I don't even know what Xbox's new console is.
Like, no one does.
Releasing.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I find a lot of people once they get into speedrunning, they kind of cut out casual games from their life. And, I'm definitely no exception.
Is it because you play so much of this one particular game, it becomes a bit of a grind or a job, or it definitely becomes a grind, but so then it just kind of like corrupts all other games. It doesn't look casual gaming doesn't look fun anymore.
A little bit. A lot of it's just, all my dedicated bandwidth in my brain toward playing video games, I just play Punch Out.
Spend it then, yeah.
Yeah, there's people who think that like, oh, speedrunners play their game 10 hours a day every day and they're all, no-lifing, that's all they do. And it's like, it's not really true. It's just the time that I would spend playing video games, it's really all spent speedrunning at this point.
That's fair.
So how long do you spend a day playing Punch Out?
When I'm actively doing it, it's like 2 hours a day. But I don't do that every day. Like I go through phases, like I said. So it's like right now I've been doing it 2 hours a day. What's that?
Do you find it more relaxing, or is it more of a focused honing a skill type thing? Like you could look at working out as, it's stressful, but also relaxes you. Is it that type of a thing? Does it stress you out?
It's more 95% of the time it's boring, and 5% of the time it's extremely interesting, and pressure's on and your palms are sweating, and it's like the 95% of the time you're bored, you're just chasing that 5% of excitement.
Okay, and it's like a drug.
Like I was saying, gambling addiction. I mean, it's really not that far off. I mean, you're chasing the high of not just getting like a PB or world record, but just having a chance for it. And it can get really intense, even if like you're not at world record level in a game. It's a pretty crazy feeling.
Do you think you need some level of addictive personality or obsessive personality to be a speedrunner at that capacity?
Maybe at world record level if it's a popular game. But like,
I definitely think so. Yeah, I do think so.
If you just want to get like a sub 20 in Mario 64 16 star, which is a goal you can, won't take you that long to achieve. I don't think you need to have any addictive personality to get it. I think just as long as you enjoy doing it and you practice a bit, it's like not that hard.
There's like a casual level of speedrunning where it's like a hobbyist kind of thing, but then once you go into the extreme levels of going for the world records, which require continuous grinding across days or whatever, I think you definitely need the level of addictive personality that would give you the commitment to and drive to do that.
Like weaponized obsessive autism that could be harnessed for all sorts of purposes. I still maintain that like the military at some point is just going to take speedrunners and put them in front of consoles to just pilot their drones in the future. I would, right? Anything else is a waste. Put these people in the cockpit.
If I had $1 for every comment in my video that was like, man, if these speedrunners put all their time towards solving cancer, can you imagine what we'd get
God,
done?
I hate those comments, man. It's like you can't just let people have fun and spend their time how they want. Like, Jesus Christ.
If people spend all their time watching TV into solving cancer and other issues, man, it's like,
wow, isn't it fucking amazing that if every human being who ever lived on the planet ever stopped having fun and only worked, things would be better?
Wild?
That's crazy.
Insane.
Wow, what a fucking idea.
It's only speedrunners that would be able to do that.
Yeah, only the speedrunners could do it, though. No one else. No one else is capable.
Absolutely
not strong enough.
To go for a world record, like, it definitely does take a lot of repetition, and I guess it could be an addictive personality thing, but at least for me, like, I am enjoying it when I'm doing it. I don't feel like I'm doing it out of obligation usually, not always, but that's kind of the key, is you have to either, I guess, have an addictive personality or just genuinely really enjoy doing it at a high level and trying to get the record. And
so are there people that where it drives them miserable? So I'm someone I don't pay that much attention to speedrunning. I'm in awe of it. It's something I could never do. But do you see in the community people where like you would think, dude, you gotta cool it a bit because this is making you miserable now, trying to chase this dragon?
Yeah, it can happen when people start to do it out of obligation rather than actually enjoying speedrunning. I mean, there's a lot of people who are like, okay, I've been grinding Mario 64 every day the last 2 years, so I kind of have to keep going now, right? Like that could get to, I could see that, but...
And they want to get their records back.
Usually most people are doing it because they genuinely want to.
There's a good handful of speedrunners I watched throughout the years where if they have a good run and it fails, they will just smash their controller in half and just start insulting their chat. It's a pretty classic scenario. I don't know if you've seen it, Mr. Salt, but
it's like
they'll
Lunar
be
Jump or someone. It's that guy's name.
Yeah, they'll be on a good run, and the chat will come, and maybe some guy will say, "Hey man, have you ever thought of shaving off some seconds here?" And just mid run, he'll be like, "That doesn't work because of this and this," and you really just don't know what you're talking about. It's like, holy shit! All right.
Okay, to be fair, imagine if you're like a freaking physicist or whatever, and some random guy walks into your lab and is like, "Have you tried, tilting this beaker over a little?" Or whatever.
And he's like the 100th guy that day that said that as well.
Very true.
Yeah.
The salt part of speedrunning is definitely there, I'd say. You definitely have some people who just grow to hate it,
Add that annoyance onto the fact that you're doing like a high pressure thing, trying to beat a record. I could imagine already emotions are high, so you're going to be in that vulnerable state. So anything would blow you off, basically.
Yeah, I actually stopped speedrunning Punch Out on my main account on Twitch because I got annoyed by my chat. That's like the main reason why, because it's like the same.
Did you ever break
questions.
your controller?
No, I haven't really thrown my controller. I've like spiked it on the ground. I wouldn't say I've definitely not broken it or anything though.
The classic. So what is it about Punch Out that grabs you, that keeps you going? Like, how are you not bored of that game by this point?
Great fucking question, man. I don't know. It's just I think a lot of the randomness helps because it's such an RNG heavy game. I keep wanting to chase. Like, you can't get a perfect run of that game, but there's always like something faster you can get, even if you get really good luck, because it can always be better. The last fight in that game, I think, is really interesting, Mike Tyson, because all you do is land frame perfect punch after frame perfect punch, and that's a 60th of a second for a frame perfect punch. So it can be really hard at the end. And there's always like more to do. Like we keep making these categories, like 90-minute challenge and Tyson challenge. There's like always more to do.
Does that ever bleed over into interest in related things like the sequel or the spin-offs or games similar to it? Or is it just, it's gotta be Mike Tyson's Punch Out, nothing else?
Well, actually, they tried to make a sequel to Mike Tyson's Punch Out. in like 1991 on the NES, and they ended up
Aw.
canceling it. Or I guess it did
No.
release, but they had to change the title of it to Power Punch 2 because Nintendo saw it and was like, "We are not attaching the Punch Out label to this. This is god awful."
Oh no.
Is it? Are you able to get the world record in it?
I don't
exists,
want to.
right? It's
I've never played it.
but it's the spiritual successor.
Come on,
You got it.
man.
So their plan for the game was after the events of Mike Tyson's Punch Out, Mike Tyson goes into space and
Oh.
starts fighting intergalactic aliens.
What?
And they were going to
This
call it
sounds awesome.
Mike Tyson's Intergalactic Power Punch.
Isn't there also? I'm sorry, I'm super late. By the way,
Welcome.
isn't there a direct sequel to Mike Tyson's Punch Out, or am I completely fabricating a memory?
Yeah, they made on the Super Nintendo. They made like a proper sequel. I don't really like that game very much, though. Super Punch Out.
Mm-hmm.
I've like never even beaten it. So
There's also the Wii one that's like a reimagining, right?
yeah, that one I think I've never played it, but I hear that one's pretty good too.
Looked cool.
So what? I don't understand how. Are they similar mechanically to the first Punch Out?
So I know Super Punch Out, some of the mechanics are different. It like the way in Mike Tyson's Punch Out, you get stars that count as uppercuts, and in Super Punch Out, you have to like build a super meter or something. And then Punch Out Wii, I think they're back to the star system. And then in Intergalactic Power Punch, I don't think they had anything. I think all you were doing was just mashing the buttons to try and get through their guard or whatever.
Okay, so I guess I'm struggling to understand why you would only want the world record in one Punch Out when you could go for all of them.
If you don't like the other games, like
Yeah,
I had
I
the
don't know.
world record in Mr. Krabs overdoses on ketamine, but I didn't want the world record in Mr. Krabs some other drug and dies. Just that
Goes
one
to
was better.
space and fights intergalactic demons.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much.
Yeah, I know Super Punch Out's also like even more random than Mike Tyson's Punch Out, so I don't know. I kind of have a limit on the randomness, I guess.
Yeah, fair enough.
What have I missed on big topics?
Speedruns.
Okay, so
Pretty
mainly
much the
speedruns.
Pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So if I may, you, like me, are a fan of the Halo 2 speedrun, yeah?
Somewhat, yeah.
Okay, never mind. If that wasn't super enthusiastic, I'll drop it.
Well, look, man. Like, if you noticed, I've made like 15 videos on Mario, right?
Yeah.
And I've done one on Halo.
Well, okay. I mean,
Just say it's for babies.
no. Let's talk about the heart of the Halo 2 speedrun, though. It's better than Mario.
I'm a moderate fan, so yeah.
I've been really deep in the Halo rabbit hole again for speedrunning. I've been contemplating trying to learn the legendary route myself. It's just so fucking fun. And I really think the glitches in tech are what makes a speedrun super special. And I was just wondering your perspective on that as well. Like, how important do you think good glitches are to an enjoyable speedrun?
For an audience, definitely very enjoyable, right? Because the more you see people break the
Yeah.
game, it's pretty fun. I don't think if you're actually running the game, I mean, it kind of depends. Like, again, the game I run, Punch Out, there's like almost no tricks or glitches you can use. It's just getting good at the
Mastery.
game mechanics, right?
Yeah.
But from an audience's perspective, definitely watching people, do the sword glitch in Halo 2 and fly across the screen is a lot better than watching them just walk through and, kill the enemies.
Well, it's also like, so a lot of glitches, maybe not Halo 2, I'm not familiar with the Halo 2 speedrun all too much, but I know like a lot of like Mario glitches and such also require like a higher level of skill, perhaps even like a higher level of skill than just doing it normally.
That's how a lot of speedruns go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's also why it's also fun.
There's also the surprise factor. I mean, if you play through Halo 2 or Mario as a kid, you're like, yeah, and then you go through that level and you jump here and it's over. But if you watch a speedrun and a guy's like, no, I'm just going to clip through everything and fly at 600 miles an hour, a lot of people are going to go, holy shit, wow.
Do you think there's a portion of the audience that watches Mario speedruns who only watch it because they get to watch Bowser die at the end and they get to watch it over and over again?
Catharsis.
And they're very excited about that. Yeah, they just like seeing the end of the game over and over again. It's got nothing to do with the speed run itself. It's just like, oh, I would just want to see the ending.
I just really like Mario 64, yeah.
Why are you resetting? We haven't killed Bowser yet.
Wait, you're skipping that level? What? No. Go play that one. It's fun.
Actually, I get a whole bunch of comments from people that get really pissed off at glitches and think they're totally illegitimate. And like, I mean, I don't really know what goes on in these people's brains. But
Yeah,
yeah,
what-
they're like, you can't glitch. You're not actually playing the game. Those are easier. You're skipping over
I
parts
get
of
it
the
to
game.
a degree, man. I get it to a slight degree. Like, glitches are great and they're fun to watch and they're exciting, but sometimes you're interested in a game and you like a game. Let's say you just beat a game. You just beat Super Mario 64 for the first time. And you go, oh, I want to see someone play through it as fast as possible. And you look up some speedruns and you're like, okay, yeah, they're doing the same glitch. I want to see someone actually play it.
But
It's
isn't,
almost
isn't
like
the point
there's
of
categories.
categories?
that are glitches.
Yeah, then you just
Yeah,
go to
but
the
but does the layman person understand that when they're first looking into speedrunning? Probably not.
They
Well,
can
no, yeah,
read
but
English, I
don't-
bet, where it
yeah.
says no glitches. You're like glitchless.
Don't get
guess.
angry and be like, hey, no, speedrun the game properly for me.
But then you have the case where a lot of games don't have categories like that. Like, it is just about the glitching and passing through and shit.
Well, make your own.
I don't know of any game where there are glitches where there's not a glitchless category.
Yeah, I'm
Fair.
pretty sure every game has a glitchless category for that reason.
Yeah.
Fair.
Just to appease the YouTube commenters, if nothing else.
No, it's just me. I'm the only one complaining.
he just wants to watch you play a game normally. Don't skip the dialogue, goddammit.
Like, I know that whenever a new Zelda game comes out, all the speedrunners and all the other like people who are really freaky good at games, they share their tricks on Twitter and such. And I swear to God, Nintendo must have some sort of an algorithm just scanning social media for the glitches they find, because they get fixed immediately within the week, to the point that I think I talked about this before, but speedrunners for Zelda games have to kind of like hush smuggle around a secretive Google Doc
Yeah.
on their drives, listing all the glitches they have found, but that they do not want to repeat publicly. Like, they basically do not want to inadvertently do Nintendo's Q&A job for them.
I thought like professional speedrunners, like the people that take it super seriously, to world record pace or whatever, like they have to use a certain version of the game, right? Like they have to use
Oh, yeah. that
vanilla
too.
versions, like
Depends on
hard
the game.
copies.
Depends on the game, but also, yeah, I mean, because if you're training, I don't know if that's the right word or what the terminology is, but yeah, if you're trying to get like a specific record and you're putting weeks and weeks into it or months, and then Nintendo all of a sudden comes in and patches out one of your tricks, you're kind of shit out of luck then.
Well, see, that's why you got to be like me and only speedrun games that are 30 plus years old.
Mhm.
Would you be?
And
I mean,
abandoned.
you don't really use glitches. You said, but like, would you be pissed if whoever made Punch Out comes back and patches the game 40 years later to make your speed run like impossible somehow?
They hook Mike up to AI.
Honestly, that'd be so awesome.
Somehow they
the
patch
people
it.
who made Punch Out are such a mystery. It just like, if they just acknowledged us in any way, that'd be so cool. Like, even if they're just patching it to ruin it.
Who did make Punch Out? I was gonna say Nintendo, but I don't think it is Nintendo, right?
Yeah, it was one of Nintendo's. They have like a R&D group.
Subdivisions.
Yeah.
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 Right. Interesting.
So, can we talk about the tool that most people would probably use to speedrun a good shave?
Oh, absolutely.
I'd
Okay,
love to.
great.
How do
I
you
just-
speedrun that? What's the tech tool?
I think the meta
Does a
strat,
glitch.
the new glitch, the new any percent speed run of shaving using the highest end tools would be through Harry's razors, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that sounds about right.
It's because they know how to keep your shaving ritual consistent, clean, and overall fairly quick. And that's part of speedrunning. You get into your routine, you figure out the quickest way to optimize it, to do it. And Harry's is here to make that a reality with your shave. And a few speedrunners listening to this episode who are going to tune in for Summoning Salt are going to say, what? How? How can I get a PB in cutting the hair off my face? Well, I'm going to tell you. It's because Harry's is going to have a new craft handle that it will give the ultimate shave experience. They have used innovative techniques to integrate a dotted rubber grip pattern onto a smooth metallic handle. The entire thing is meticulously fine-tuned with contours to help it feel weighty and yet well balanced. You're going to get an entire craft handle starter set for just $10. That's about half the price of what it's actually valued at. It's going to come with a craft handle 5-blade German engineered razor cartridge shaving gel and a travel cover. Plus, you can schedule blade replacement deliveries for as low as $2. Harry's also wants to make sure that your entire morning routine is as fast as humanly possible because they've got shaving creams, post-shave balms, body wash, hydrating lotions, and a dozen other products that'll make you say, wow, that was super quick. I'm out of here. I'm done. Thank you, Harry's, for having the highest customer satisfaction in the shaving industry and for offering a no-risk trial. And you can elevate your shave with the latest and greatest in Harry's razor handle lineup today. Get your $17 craft handle starter set for just $10 at harrys.com/official. That's HARRYS.com/official. $17 value for just $10. harrys.com/official.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think I can legally say that all the world's top speedrunners use Harry's.
Correct.
Nice.
Yes.
I asked all of them. They do. So let's get to the big meat of this episode, the big pump, if you will. Mr. Summoning Salt is not just the world record holder of Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. He runs a very, very lucrative, very successful speed running documentary channel. And Mr. Summoning Salt, I wanted to ask, every single video you've made, from what I can tell, is about speedrunning, whether it's uploads of your own records or covering other records. What is it about the subject of speedrunning that just always gives you something you want to talk about and dive into?
It's a great question. I think there's just so many layers to unfold for a lot of speedruns. I like to tell stories, right? Like, that's kind of my main thing on my channel, more than even explaining tricks or how speedruns work, is the story of how a speedrun's time got lower. And I think, honestly, I could apply that to a lot of subjects, but I've always been interested in speedrunning, and you don't have nearly as many copyright issues to worry about with speedrunning footage as long as Nintendo behaves. So, yeah, it's always just kind of been a nice go-to for me. And once you have like a whole bunch of speedrunning videos on your channel, I feel like it'd be pretty hard for me to pivot at this point to something else.
Yeah.
And I'm still enjoying it, and people are still watching. So, yeah, it's just been a natural fit.
Bit locked into the game by this point, huh?
Yeah. If you had to pivot, what would you pivot to?
I'm actually a pretty big sports fan, and I think there's a lot of cool stories in sports I could tell. But that would be very tricky from a footage perspective.
Yeah.
Because, you know,
That'd be tough.
Yeah.
Very, very tricky.
Well, could you pull the same technique you use for your channel where you have those graphs and the stats and you're comparing different plays and then going through maybe the significance of it, crafting a narrative?
There is a lot of sports games. You could just record footage in that and then tell the
Reenact,
story over the sports
True.
games. Yeah, do a little reenactment.
That's actually a pretty interesting idea.
There's a YouTuber called John Boys who pretty much does what you're saying, where he uses like graphs
God
and
damn it.
charts and
Yep.
stuff to tell stories and sports.
That's what I
And
was
he's,
going to mention.
Yeah,
like,
he's a
biggest
very good,
inspiration for me, honestly.
very good YouTuber as well, or channel. I don't know if I'd call him a YouTuber.
But that is a cool idea. And I also like sports stories. So if you do pursue that, I will be watching.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd love to. It's just I feel like I can't at this point. Like, how am I going to pivot to that? How would I pivot to that successfully from speedrunning? Because speedrunning and sports have like zero overlap in fans. Like, I'm honestly one of the only people I know who's interested in both
Start with
speedrunning
running.
and sports. So
Just a separate channel, probably. It doesn't have to be like a direct, thing.
Yeah. just a
yeah,
hobby
but
channel.
I can't just abandon my first channel, man.
Oh, yeah.
That's-
No, absolutely not. Just
Yeah.
as on the side.
You also never know until you try. You could make a sports video, and if it's just a big bomb, just make another speedrun video after it and move on.
I even give you permission to tell the story of my high school basketball career if you really want to
Hey,
kick it
that's
off with a
pretty good.
bang.
Oh
Yeah.
my god, thank you so much.
That's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I would be
He
honored.
doesn't just give that out to anyone. What was the story?
I wouldn't even know where to begin. It's a story of triumph and tribulation, honestly. A 5'6" basketball phenom. It was something special.
Yeah, I'm a little afraid of like, I don't know, because right now these videos take up like all my time working, so I would be very hard for me to just do something else on the side. I'd have to just slow down my output, and I only upload like 5 times a year anyway, so I don't know.
It's also a, since you do it full time and as a business, it's kind of a cost benefit analysis of, is pivoting to sports even worth it if these videos are working so well and so well received and something you're still passionate about,
Yeah. No, I've just had like slow, steady growth on my main channel now for 6 years. So
Mhm.
until that changes, I'm probably not going to try modifying what I upload at all, really.
Mhm.
Light it all on fire and go to sports, I say. Why not?
Yeah, fuck it.
Fuck it.
Yeah, whatever. What else are you doing?
On the same channel too.
You can make the sports videos and run Mike Tyson's Punch Out. It's fine. You'll be fine.
Technically, it's a sports game, right? So maybe there's
There you
some
go.
overlap
True, there
I don't
might be
know.
some overlap. You think the people watching those videos are just like ultra sports fans at home? They've never seen video games before. They're just cheering you on.
That's what I was thinking. Like, how polarized would the different audiences be then? Like, if you pull off the sports thing, are they going to look at your old videos like, what is this nerd shit?
Well, maybe I can make some pivot from Mario Kart to like actual kart racing,
yeah.
to like F1. And
No,
like,
I think you could easily do it with your style of narration. You do start with boxing and just relate it to the Mike Tyson speedruns in some way.
Trick
Find a-
them.
Or that, yeah. Or just lie to your audience.
Yes,
Yeah,
lie to
lie.
them. Take footage
Yeah.
of Mike Tyson's Punch Out, submit it to AI, have it render it into realistic lifelike graphics where it looks like it's actually Mike Tyson fighting. And then you turn the magic off and go, see, you guys actually like video games. So watch the rest of my stuff.
Losers. They fall into a deep depression.
You should pretend that Little Mac is real and do a video dictating his whole career and stats.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if they ask why he doesn't have a Wikipedia page or anything, just call it a conspiracy. Say that they're suppressing him or something.
No, don't even go that far. When they ask why he's not on any sports websites, say, hey, shut the fuck up. Shut your mouth. Don't talk to me.
Just delete their comments.
Yeah, just delete their comments and block them. It's genius.
Sue
these are
them.
brilliant. I just need to hope none of my audience finds this podcast because
How
I
could
might
they?
have
They
to
never
try a
will.
couple of these out.
No. Impossible.
Yeah, honestly, overall, I don't know. I'm happy with what I'm doing, and I think pivoting is. I guess I'm like afraid of pivoting too because like it's working.
It's hard,
so
man.
Why change it?
If it's working, well, yeah, there's no point. If you're enjoying what you're doing, there's no point.
Yeah. Pivoting is very, very hard, especially with the nature of YouTube these days, where the algorithm and the website want channels that really just do one thing, you know?
And there's people who are always like, man, you can make a video on any subject and I'll watch. But it's like, will you actually, if it's something
Yeah.
you don't care about? Like, you
As
say
if.
that.
They say that, and yet it doesn't always pan out. Yeah.
Well, they could. They could. It just doesn't mean they're speaking for the entire audience as well.
No, but they're also not speaking for themselves either. Like that
Yeah,
kind of shit.
they're-
is
they're
just
liars.
Yeah, they're just a liar.
You can look at every single successful YouTube channel and you can immediately say, this is what they're known for. This is what the audience is there for. And they will say, oh, we'll watch anything. We'll support anything you do. But you can always see when the thing they're known for comes out, it's always the biggest thing, you know?
Yeah. Like, you like to watch my video about Jimmy Poopins playing Ninja Gaiden 2, but would you watch a video about football? Like, probably not.
I'm glad
Well, I
you
will.
brought up the Jimmy Poopins. I wanted to ask, you've probably seen it, but have you seen these jokes that are popping up now, these kind of parodies and little goofs and gaffes that people are making on your channel, where it's these very serious, very well-crafted narratives, but then it's like, Mr. Shits His Pants got the speedrun record from Gobbledygook 54, like these just goofy speedrunner names.
I mean, that's literally just my videos. It doesn't even sound like a parody. That's exactly what happens. Like, in my last video, we also had 420 Blaze It, who's actually been like a returning character. He's found like a whole bunch of things in old Mario games.
Does that ever just get to you? Do you ever just have moments of self-realization and say, oh my God, this guy's name is Jimmy Poopins?
So, like, it did. Like, I remember the first one that was really crazy was, it was actually another Ninja Gaiden speedrunner, and his name was Shivering Erotic King Banana. And when I first read that, I was like, oh my God, I have to say this in a video. And I decided to just say it completely deadpan and just, like, not even act like it was a weird name.
You got to give him the respect that he deserves for
Yeah.
competing at that level.
Don't dismiss Mr. Erotic Banana. He's a friend of mine, okay?
And
Shivering banana.
they keep coming up now, and I'm like, at this point, nothing even surprises me. And with Jimmy Poopins, it was great because I had an excuse to put him in the title. So if I can put Shivering Erotic King Banana in a title of a video one day, that would be like probably my dream.
Well, you heard him, banana. Get on it. Break some records.
If you're going to dedicate your like life to getting the world record in a game, why would you choose such a, I don't know, goofy name? I guess it's funny, but like surely you'd want to be known for it.
Yeah, well, what are they supposed to go with? Like Mega Death Lord?
Hell
Try to be
yeah.
all edgy about it.
I mean, people don't really pick their usernames thinking like, I'm going to be the world record holder for Mario 64 one day. Let me pick something really badass, right? Like my username was just from, I think I was watching a video from Ashens, and he said seasoning salt, or he tried to say seasoning salt, and it came out as summoning salt. So I was like, I guess I'll just use that as my username because I can't think of anything else today.
I wonder where Jimmy
Right.
Poopins came up with his name.
It's
I
actually
wonder
his
as well.
legitimate name. His last name is unfortunately Poopins.
Yeah, he's
literally his
It's
distraught.
from the Odyssey.
He tried to be professional, but now everyone just laughs at him.
He's actually a professor at a college, like in statistics or something. So that'd be pretty hilarious if he was
Professor Poopins?
His actual name.
That's a Captain Underpants villain, like for real.
Yeah.
That's great. Oh man. So go ahead, Jackson.
I was actually going to just segue it in, well, not segue it, but move the topic to just cheating in speedruns, because I also find that equally as fascinating in general. But did you have something more important that you wanted to ask, Andrew, before I change it?
No, just more speedrun related questions. So we'll get there eventually. Go ahead.
Okay, so my question was, who is the biggest speedrun cheater that you can directly point to and say that man is a scoundrel and he needs to be known far and wide?
Can I take a guess before you answer? Can I take a guess?
go ahead.
Is it Billy
I have
Mitchell?
a guess as well, yeah. Yeah, that's my guess.
See, there's one answer I don't want to say because I don't want to get sued.
Oh,
And there's one answer I
yeah.
don't want to say because I don't want a whole bunch of 10-year-old fanboys to jump on my back.
Oh,
Yeah.
So I have to be careful
I know
here.
both the people you're talking about.
yeah.
Yeah. Both of them are Billy Mitchell.
I mean, look, I don't really talk about cheaters on my channel, right? Because I don't want to like give them glory or whatever. But there's
How's
been
that glory?
so
Isn't
many,
that
man.
shame? Isn't that the opposite of glory? Like shaming them?
Well, you are giving them notoriety for something, even if it's not positive. It's like, hey,
Yeah.
if you
But they did-
successfully
they-
are able to get a cheated speed run, then you're gonna at least get your name recognized in one of my videos one day. Like, I'd rather just ignore it. But there's so many, man, and I mean, honestly, I would imagine that there are some top speedruns today. I don't know about world records, but like very close at least that
Like
are
competitive
cheated
ones, yeah.
that we don't know.
Yeah.
Because it can be very hard to detect. It really can.
Oh, is there any like cheaters where like the cheat itself impressed you? Where it was almost like its own category?
Man, I mean, the common method is just splicing, right? Where you put two videos together and make them look like
Yeah.
one playthrough. But trying to think if there's any like unique methods. I know there was one where a guy did like a playback of a tool assisted speedrun, and he actually used a controller cam, and he had to try to sync up his button presses perfectly with what was going on the
That's-
screen.
yeah.
Yes.
And he was off by like a couple frames in some spots, and that's what got him busted. But like he did pretty well. Like he got close.
Those ones are always the most insane to me, where there's this meticulous level of like work that goes into it, and you're like, you could just divert some of that effort into actually,
Well,
being competitive at the game.
no, they are. Like the guy. So we'll use Guitar Hero for example. One of the best Guitar Hero players turns out cheated a lot of his most impressive accomplishments, but he is still extremely good. And even without the cheating, was still one of the best. But he used the cheats to be even better.
Yeah, no, I mean, people who cheat, I mean, they're not doing it. And I think Carl Drops talks about this a lot, but they don't cheat because they want to get good at something they're not good at. They do it to just get some sort of goal that's either just out of reach or something that would take forever that they can get faster now. It's like a convenience thing rather than like, let me be horrible at a game and pretend I'm really good at it.
I'm also impressed by the people who fact check it and actually go through the footage, analyzing every single frame, like forensic analysts solving a crime.
Yeah, honestly, I don't even know the extent of what people have to do for that for some runs. I know you have to use like really advanced audio analysis to detect certain splices, so it can get pretty crazy.
So for a game to have like a dedicated leaderboard with active participants, does it have to have like a moderation team as part of it? Like, I guess it comes naturally when the communities form around that. Is that the case? Or is there some website where the people actually like, I don't know, dedicated video game moderators, speedrun moderators?
Well, yeah, nowadays it's pretty much all the games have their own moderators. But it's funny because if you go back like 15 years ago, the way it always worked was people would submit to Twin Galaxies or Speed Demos Archive. And the way that worked was they had just a few referees or moderators for every game combined. And these people weren't usually experts in whatever game they were verifying. So stuff like cheated runs would get through a little bit more often. I think there was like some
Was there
Zelda
ever
runner.
any like foul play, like any bribery, like under the table?
Not even. They were just all friends with Billy Mitchell.
Yeah, like I'm sure Twin Galaxies, I'm sure there absolutely was at some point. Speed Demos Archive, I don't think was as bad. I think it was just people not knowing what they were doing in certain cases. Like there were some very obviously spliced runs that got through back then. And if you didn't know what to look for, then you didn't know what to look for if you didn't know the game that well.
Yeah. Speedrunning is definitely like blown up in the last like five years, probably, right? I mean, it's been growing gradually over time, but I feel like it's really exploded in the last 5 years, probably thanks to content like yours, right?
Yeah, it's still not quite in the mainstream. Like, there's still so many people who ask what I do for a living, and it's like, that's a huge rabbit hole. Do you know what a speedrun is? And still, like, if they're above the age of like 40, they almost never know what it is.
Yeah, that's the same with like podcasts, though. I don't think it's like exclusive to speedrunning. There's just always more. It's just the thing with being on the internet, I think. But yeah, speedrunning is probably also like a more niche aspect of gaming. Definitely.
Yeah, it's like a competitive gaming's already niche, and speedrunning is like a niche part of competitive gaming.
You think we're going to see speedruns in the Olympics? Because we are getting competitive gaming in the Olympics.
You know, I wanted to make a speedrunning Olympics. I think that'd be really cool. But getting into like the actual Olympics, I mean, I doubt it, man. I don't know. That seems like a bit of a stretch because nowhere near as
saying that
popular.
for like a decade now. What came of it? What games in the Olympics?
They have their own
No,
esports section where it's all fucking mobile games that are absolute dog shit.
Wait, so it's already happening?
Yeah, happens this coming year.
How have I never heard of this? So there are people on Earth right now who have a gold Olympic medal in video games?
What? It hasn't started. It's coming up.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm asking. Like, has it happened yet?
Oh,
Because
no.
I haven't seen anything.
They've made it. It's just they haven't had the event yet.
Okay.
How do they select the athletes for that?
It's so you qualify. So like the mobile games like Tic-Tac-Bow,
Athletes.
they have like a leaderboard.
whatever you want to call them.
I know, that was funny. Like, are they gonna have the Rocky 3 Russian montage of them doping the gamers, make them more alert?
For Tic-Tac-Bow, they're gonna have to. That game's cutthroat.
Tic-tac-toe?
God, these are terrible. Fucking Just Dance is in the Olympics? What the fuck?
Well, at least that involves some like actual physical movement.
Does it?
Do you have a list of all the games?
Yeah.
Can you read them all?
We went over it on a podcast episode, I'm pretty sure.
This is like, that would have been like at least 4 years ago, though.
What?
I don't remember
More like
at all.
4 months ago? What are you talking about? Yes,
No way.
it hasn't been long at all.
No, you're thinking of something else.
Oh my god, no, I am not. I made like 2 videos on it. Because, like, recently, because one of them was Fortnite, but they can't play Fortnite because there's guns. So they were doing creative mode Fortnite. You don't remember this whole conversation we had? We were laughing about it.
Well, I don't, but that's par for the course. What about you, Kai? Do you remember this?
I'm shocked.
I don't.
Yeah, we talked about it.
They can't have Fortnite because it has guns. Don't they have that one weird sport in the Olympics where they
have
ladies
literally
are
guns,
like slaloming down a mountain and they have
the
to shoot at
shootout
targets?
at the old corral.
They have guns. They have competitive shooting.
They have competitive shooting, and that's what the Fortnite one is. It's target shooting.
Is this actually happening at the next Olympics?
They have a whole esports week.
Damn.
Or weekend.
I feel like I've heard about that for years, but I've never seen it actually happen.
Really sad. Oh my god.
That's going to be, oh my god. That is going to be the weirdest fucking like Olympics village possible. That's going to be like 2 different extremes.
You made that same fucking joke on the episode. Holy Lord.
No, I did not. No, I
you
did.
did? 100%. I remember you saying that.
Oh my god. I don't know.
This is awesome because I know that at the Olympic villages, all the fit people constantly fuck, apparently to the point where they keep breaking the beds. So I assume during the video game Olympics, it'll be the opposite, where like the boys will not be asking the girls out, the girls will be too shy and everything. It's just gonna be.
No, Charlie's right now. Now I remember it. Now that we're talking about the beds breaking, I'm pretty sure we talked about the beds
That's
breaking.
the exact same conversation we had. That's incredible.
I remember talking about the actual like Winter Olympics, but not the video game aspect of it.
I don't think it was 4 months ago. I think it was a little bit longer.
It was probably like
now I
closer to
remember
6.
it.
Yeah.
So is there? I'm still wondering. Like, is there a confirmed list of games now? Is Mike Tyson's Punch Out in there? Because if Salt can get a gold medal,
Oh yeah, we need to.
I want to bet money here.
It's not. It's all mobile games.
They should
Basically.
tell the esports people that they're coming to compete in esports at the Olympics, and then actually have it be like weightlifting that they have to do or something, and just
All bait and switch them.
Yeah.
That's fucked up. That is mean.
Weights on the controllers. They have to play on a treadmill. Just fat camp. Their parents sent them.
This is a question I have about Charlie for you, Salt. So it's
Ooh,
getting
boy, okay.
weirdly parasocial. Do you think Charlie would have a better chance of becoming the speed running god that he desperately wants to be if he just stuck to one fucking game and actually gave it a all instead of being like a variety speedrun streamer kind of thing? Because he dances around.
It depends what you mean by a speedrun god. Like, going from game to game is probably good for him because he's already pretty well known, so he doesn't need to like make a name for himself. So people see him speedrunning a whole bunch of games. It, I don't know, probably make him look more impressive or something. But let's say he was like some tiny YouTuber who didn't have any subscribers or whatever, and he wanted to become a speedrunning god and be known for speedrunning. I would definitely say just stick to one game and get really good at it and go for like a top time or world record or something like that.
Okay, now Charlie, what is the one game that you would actually stick to and become a god at if you had to?
I just don't think there's any one game that I'd commit to like that. I just love the variety of speedrunning. If I can just get top 50 in the games I speedrun, I'm happy. That's all
Even
I
in
care
games
about.
with only like 10 runners.
Well, then as long as I'm top 10. Yeah.
Ah.
I just love experimenting and learning the new routes, the glitches, the tech. It's so fun. It's so fulfilling.
But I don't think I've ever seen you happier than when you did get world's first in those games, even when like no one was playing them, and then that just gets taken away from you immediately.
That's fine. I only need the high for a minute or two. Like it can be a whippet. It's fine.
But Salt's had his for 8 years. It's incredible. You need that.
It is much more impressive. True.
Well, what games have you speedrun, Charlie? I'm not even sure.
Oh man, probably close to like 50 or so titles
Wow,
at least.
that's impressive.
Yeah, no, I speedrun a lot. The world records I held were for Mr. Krabs overdoses on ketamine and dies, House
Classic.
of Caravan, Left in the what was it called? From the Dark, and then one more. I think it was like Hell's Escape or something. Those were the world records I had.
This man's
Very
got so
nice.
many records, he doesn't even remember them all. Look at this
I
guy.
actually- Well, yeah, I had a ton.
Do you currently have any?
No.
Still?
No.
Wow, you fell off.
It's hard, man. When you get into like an actual competitive speedrun, the talent there is unreal.
Well, it's also you shine an enormous beacon on it as well, which is unfortunate for you because better gamers see what you're doing and then come in and steal it.
Yeah, ironically, you might be a more prolific speedrunner if you were a smaller channel.
Oh, what if you create a pseudonym for it?
I like that people come in and beat my shit because then it gets even more impressive with the glitches and tech they find. I don't care about having the records. It's just fun.
It reminds me of when the Super Mario Bros. Record holder speedran Wii Golf for a week and he got the record. But so many people saw him run it that by like a week after his record, he was down to like 15th place or something. They just all beat him. So that's the thing. Whenever someone popular runs a game, it just like attracts a whole bunch of people.
Mm-hmm.
And then it makes it go even better with the speedrun. More shit's found. It's very cool.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, it's not like King of Kong where like everything is so competitive and like there's secret tapes and whatnot. It's like it's all collaborative, which is good.
Yeah, but someone has to be on top.
And someone always will be on top. It
True.
just won't be me.
Someone has to be
Why
at the
not?
end of a Summoning Salt video, right?
True.
Yeah.
There's always a bigger fish.
So, Mr. Salt, speaking of those speed runs and all those different ones, what to you, having both run speed runs and documented them, do you think is the hardest part? Is it the pressure, the grind, the time commitment? What would you say?
Fending off all the women
Ooh.
afterwards.
Yeah, the parties, the
So
sex, the
other
drugs.
than that, I mean, I think if you naturally don't have much free time, then I guess it would be the time commitment. But I mean, it's very hard being on world record pace and trying to keep it together. Like,
Yeah.
honestly, it's a pretty unique feeling. I mean, I haven't really done anything that's felt like that before, other than in speed running. I'm sure there are things, but it's really hard to keep it together. I think that might be the hardest part. But obviously, just getting to that level too is like kind of ridiculous because there's so much commitment involved, and you have to play it for months or years or whatever. So
Right. So on that, what would you say is maybe the most miraculous moment in speedruns? Like you mentioned earlier that the guy played weed golf and just got the record in a week. Do you have a case of maybe someone just getting world record the first day out of nowhere, or just something absolutely unrealistic happening?
Oh man, let's see. Okay, I'll go back to Super Mario Bros. Here. There's a guy named Cosmic who Super Mario Bros. Right? It's like a super optimized game, and if the record gets lowered by a tenth of a second, that's a huge deal. So back when the record was a 4:56, this guy named Cosmic, who had record for brief spurts before, and he had tied the record, and he hadn't had like a super long lasting record or anything. He ended up tying the world record again. It was like a 4:56.24. This is after he had done thousands and thousands and thousands of runs. And after he tied the record, he said, all right, just for fun, I'm going to do some 4:55 attempts, which is where you have to do everything you did in the 4:56 and add in one more very difficult trick early. So just for fun, he does 4:55 attempts, and on his 9th attempt, he made it past the first level. The first 8 all died in the first level, and that 9th run ended up making it all the way to the end of the game and was the first 4:55 on 9 attempts, when it had taken thousands and thousands and thousands to get 4:56.
And let's not undersell the severity for Mario. You were mentioning earlier that even just fractions of seconds is significant in that game. That game is frame solved, right? To the point where the current world record, I think, is only 2 frames off of being
22.
Yeah,
22.
22, not 2. 22 frames off of being just absolutely, completely, fully optimized. Can't be any better.
Yeah, basically that game has been completely solved as far as we know. There hasn't been like a significant time save in over a decade. I think there was 1 frame save in the last level a few years ago, but we pretty much know what the perfect speedrun would be, unless something miraculously new is found. But I think it's like 4:54.265 is the theoretical limit. And with the current world record, they are matched with that perfectly down to the frame into the last level. And he lost 22 frames in the last level.
So what's the part that throws them off? Where are those 22 frames?
All over it. The last level, so the levels before 8-4, like there's this frame rule system where you don't actually have to play perfectly to not lose any time. You just have to play like fast enough to a run that was perfect, and you won't lose any time. So those levels you don't actually have to be perfect. But 8-4, there's just like frames you can bleed all over the place, and people have had a perfect 8-4 before, but never in a run, like not even close. I think the best ever in a run is still probably lost like 10 frames or something like that. So yeah, there's a long way to go.
Very cool.
Speaking on something kind of cool in that realm that I'm sure you've kept up with Summoning Salt, there has been a new, well, not really new, a new method discovered for Super Mario 64 speedrunning that saves about 40 seconds and that is the
shit.
first major time save in like what, a decade and some change.
Yeah, carpetless, man. Isn't that
Carpetless,
cool?
baby.
So that's like a digital gold mine, basically, right? Like it's just blown the thing wide open.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to figure out if I should just make a video just on carpetless now.
May
just
as well.
because it's a huge, but also I don't know. Maybe it makes more sense to like let the record play out a little bit and see what happens before I touch it. I don't know, but yeah, for those who don't know, basically it's almost at the very end of a speed run that's more than 90 minutes long, and it saves about 45 seconds itself. It's very, very hard, but it used to be like basically impossible, and now it's somewhat realistic to get in a run. So people are trying to get, PBs and world records with it, and I think someone was actually able to get a PB with it pretty recently. Not world record level, but like pretty close.
Imagine how terrifying that is for the world record holder, though, who's probably been holding it for years, I imagine.
No, that
Nope.
game is a really competitive record. It keeps trading hands.
Oh, really?
Green Suiji is the hotness on the block. He is an unreal speedrunner, and he seems very excited about Carpetless. He's been practicing it. He's getting very consistent with it, but he hasn't pulled together a world record run with it yet. But by the time this video comes out, he probably would have already have traded with it like 5 or 6 times.
I forget if he has
That
3 or
competitive.
4 of the 5 main category records. It might be 4. I'm not 100%
It's 4.
sure.
Yep, it's
There you
4.
go. So if he gets the 120 star record with Carpetless, he will have all 5 records, which is like the best
That's nuts.
achievement probably ever in speedrunning.
Yep,
it's
it'd
pretty
have to
crazy.
be.
Yeah, that
So
guy's
yeah,
crazy.
that is the most impressive thing a speedrunner can do in your mind is get all 5 categories in that game.
For me, yes. I don't know about for Salt, though.
I mean, you could make up something that would be crazier, I'm sure, but like in my opinion, that's the craziest thing that
Blindfolded.
would have happened so far.
No, in your opinion, it's just Punch Out.
Yeah,
But honestly,
most world
Punch-Out
records
record's
held by
probably
a
the main
million
thing.
sub YouTuber. There you go.
that's the big one.
That's the big one to me.
Yeah, no, but Green Suiji is like it's crazy. There's been so many runners that were like about equal with each other in skill for years, and Suiji just kind of blew past them all. So, and people keep telling him like you gotta do 120 star. I don't think he has that much interest. He's like kind of learning it, but not really committing to it. So, and it'll be very interesting to see how it plays out.
I'm very confident that he will be able to slap it around. He is just unreal at that game.
Right, but that's if he wants to. He might not even
Yeah.
want to grind it, right? So,
I think he wants to do 5 of 5, though. I'm pretty sure that's his big goal, is to get all of it.
I think he really likes it when people keep asking him to do it over and over. I think that's his main motivator.
Most people on the internet are that way. Yeah, if you just bug the shit out of them, that's how you get what you want.
Yup.
Yeah, they love it.
They love it.
How-
Most creators love that.
Mhm.
Well, it's not even just it's just a general life thing.
Yeah, most people
I think-
love that. Yeah, most humans.
love being bugged. How many minutes like is that world record?
That's
Currently?
an hour and 37 minutes.
Oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay, that's impressive then. I always find those like long speed runs more like the most impressive, definitely. Like the Lego Star Wars speed runs where like if you fuck up a run, that's like 3 hours down the drain. And you just got to keep doing that until you do.
Oh, I
get
cannot
competitive
wrap
enough.
my head around those.
I don't get it either.
Like completely hitless, 100% clean Elden Ring run-throughs or whatever.
Yeah.
And you just will tune into their stream and they'll have the counter going at like 6.5 hours or however long the game is. Just at the very end, still not getting hit. And you look at the guy, he's just cool as a cucumber. While I'm stressing the hell out on just the first boss, losing my mind. I'm impressed by that
That
sort of
shit's
just
impressive.
coolness.
It
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, just knowing you'd have to go back
Cold as ice.
2+ hours. I mean, I can't even like. I don't like to do speedrunning sessions for more than like 2 or 3 hours at a time. And like you said, a game like Lego Star Wars, where the record is 2.5 hours already, it's like I'd get to do one run per session, and if it fails, then it's like
exactly.
hours wasted.
Right.
Yeah,
So speaking on Lego Star Wars, what causes you to choose the games you focus in your videos? Because for the most part, they're pretty well-known speedruns, pretty big ones, Mario, etc. But then there's Lego Star Wars and some other oddballs thrown in there.
Yeah, I mean, if it was totally like, if I didn't have like an audience I needed to satisfy, I would just do Mario videos all day, every day, and never change because I'm very familiar with them, and I think almost all the speedruns are super cool, and they always do really well in the algorithm, like without fail. But I know that there's like people who have different interests, like a Halo video or a Lego Star Wars video or something like that.
Yeah, the Lego Star Wars video was the first one I watched of yours, so you got me. That's what got me into it.
Yeah,
into
it's
watching
like
your content. I mean,
a balancing act where I have to balance what I want to make with what other people want, but also like what will do well because people don't always know what they actually want.
Well, I know I want Lego Star Wars, so if you could keep doing that, that'd be great.
I probably will.
Assassin's
Like,
Creed.
that community was like super cool to work with, and the video did well. So I'll probably do another one at some point.
Salt, what game would you settle for if Nintendo nuked Mike Tyson's Punch-Out out of existence? Hypothetically.
They started copyright claiming the footage.
Yeah, what's your
probably Mike Tyson's Intergalactic Power Punch, honestly.
Oh man, but I was gonna get a world record in that. Fuck.
Damn. Yeah, I don't know. I probably just wouldn't speedrun, honestly. Like, forget it. Stick to videos.
What was the first exposure? What was your first hit? Your gateway drug of Mike Tyson?
Yeah, I think
of Mike Tyson in general?
Yes, in just the lore of Mike Tyson.
Oh God, I don't know, man. I mean, I remember watching blindfolded speedruns at old AGDQs. Those were pretty fun. I guess I kind of got into it from that, but I don't know.
Did you start blindfolded?
No, I did not. I only started doing that recently.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Is Mike Tyson still alive, right?
Yes.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Does he know about this game? Does he know about the speedrun? Is he impressed? Does anyone know?
Does he know about the game?
He's aware of the game.
I don't know. He could
know.
potentially not. It could just be his agent that's like made the deal.
Does he know about a 40-year-old game that's really, really, really popular with his name and face on it?
He made some
Mike
tweet
Tyson.
recently about how he was unhappy that they took him out of a Punch-Out game. And I looked into what the heck's he talking about, and I think he was talking about the fact that in 1990 they replaced Tyson with Mr. Dream in Mike Tyson's Punch-Out because they lost the copyright to him. Mm-hmm. But like he was complaining about it in like 2021 on Twitter. So I don't know if he just found out that they did that or like it was a re-release. He said I don't know what it was. And it's like if you just give them permission, they'd probably put you back in the game. But
he's just so busy. He finally goes, I'm finally going to sit down to play my game. What the hell is this? Where'd I go?
There is a video of him losing to the first fighter in the game when he tried playing it. So he's at least aware of it.
Wow, what a loser. Mike Tyson will never do anything with his life.
He's trash.
Yeah.
Never be a gamer.
What a piece of shit.
I'd love to see him take the world record though. That'd be so hype. Not for you,
cool.
obviously. Well, it would be pretty cool if you went into like a 1v1 rivalry with him.
What's a more feasible thing? You could like go around with Mike Tyson one day, or he could beat your speedrunning record one day.
I was gonna say whatever the alternative is to saying I could last around with Mike Tyson is the answer to that question.
You think he'd beat your speedrun record first? Do you think he'd have the discipline, the skills?
You think I could last around with Mike Tyson? I'm a speedrunner.
I believe
dude.
in you.
What do you think I look like?
Probably a fucking Goliath, like 6'8",
bodybuilder,
benching 400. All speedrunners look like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, didn't you say you were into sports?
They're Olympic athletes.
Watching sports, not playing.
Oh,
that's the same
big difference.
Oh,
it translates though.
You're ready, champ. Get in there.
Mike's getting old.
Yeah, if any armchair football watchers are to be believed, they're just as good as the pros and the coaches. It's easy.
Well, they know exactly what to do. Yeah,
they know exactly what play would have worked. Yeah.
Yeah, but no, I don't know. I mean, I think Mike Tyson is like interested in Punch-Out, but I don't know. I can't see him actually play. I think there's actually a video of him fighting himself in that game, like on Jimmy Fallon or something.
Huh.
And
yeah, probably
didn't go too well. So.
Do you think you could teach him? Could you train him to speedrun that?
If he had any interest, I'd love to. But
that'd be a great summoning salt video.
Oh my god, yeah. At least the basics.
You wouldn't want to be on the receiving end of his rage, though, if he loses or something like that.
Yeah. Every punch you take in Punch-Out, you take in real life from Mike Tyson.
Oh my god.
He'd break more than the controller.
Yeah.
Just starts biting ears off.
Yeah. It's dangerous.
How old is that guy now?
He's getting old. He's
He's
definitely
not
like
that old. He's like
57.
He's 70.
What, 70s. What the fuck is wrong with
He's
you, Jackson?
57.
Oh, he's
Jackson.
I thought
57.
he was 70.
It's 57.
He's not 70.
57 is
57,
still
Jackson.
pretty. For an athlete like that, he could still kill you, I bet, in a single punch.
Well, he
Oh, yeah.
just fought like 2 years ago. He just did the
Oh, I didn't know that.
yeah, he just did another fight against who was it? It wasn't Sugar Ray, was it? No. Who the fuck did he fight? I don't remember. But he just did a
Demons.
huge fight like 2 years ago.
Okay, I have a question for you guys. Have any of you ever played Mike Tyson's Punch-Out?
I
Oh,
have.
yeah. Absolutely.
Okay, and you've tried fighting
No.
Mike Tyson?
Probably,
He
yeah.
knocks you down in one hit.
Yep.
Right? So that right there, even though he's in his late 50s, I feel like he could still do that to pretty much anyone, including me.
Mhm.
So I don't want anything to do with the...
What if he gave you a choice? Okay, he's gonna use his offhand to. He gets to punch you once, non-lethally, or you lose Mike Tyson's punch out forever.
Non-lethally.
Non-lethally is such a great way of describing his power.
It just incapacitates you.
Okay, so let's take a non-lethal puncher. What's the other option?
You lose Mike Tyson's punch out, the record forever, or the game forever.
Hmm.
He punches you somewhere where it wouldn't kill you, like your kneecaps.
Yeah, like
Okay,
your
but it
arm
could
like
be a
breaks
copy of the
your arm or
game.
something.
He punches your copy of the game. You can never play it again.
Oh my god, no, anything but that. No, I don't know, man. I guess I would take not playing the game over not having to like go to the hospital and fucking lose
Wow.
mobility.
I thought
part
you
of
were
my body,
dedicated.
probably.
Yeah, what the
Well,
fuck?
yeah, I'm also very dedicated to not getting punched by Mike Tyson. So it's,
Survival, yeah.
He said it was non-lethal.
Oh, God. This guy's a phony. Let's get out of here.
You'll be fine after the rehabilitation.
Yeah. He'll be back to punch out in no time.
They have prosthetics nowadays, damn it. Just
Yeah,
walk
you
it
can
off.
still talk after you take a punch. Make a video on it.
You don't need 2 ears, really, when you think about it.
Just,
Oh,
he looks like Stephen Hawking afterwards.
yeah, like I think I'd get so much brain damage from getting punched, I wouldn't be able to play the game anymore.
True, yeah. Well, but the punch would come with a guarantee that you'd be out. Like it's a contract. Like you get to keep your record. You don't get to keep playing the game, but you get to keep the record.
Well,
record
I don't
stays
really
forever.
care about like having the record just to show off to people. Like the
How-
fun of it is lowering it and having fun with it. So
Yeah, you just take away
Also,
his
how are you
fun.
going to guarantee that unless you ban everyone else from playing it?
yeah,
forever?
unless you take that punch.
going around and saying to people like I have a Mike Tyson's Punch-Out world record. Like I don't really get that much street cred by saying that. Like
Do you think that Mike Tyson would care, or you could explain it to him? Do you think if you met him at some event, you could be like, Mike, I speed run your game. I'm the world record holder. And you could just get him to be super enthralled.
I think he would take a casual interest probably, but there's actually I have a video called The Quest to Beat Matt Turk, and Matt Turk is like one of the best Mike Tyson's Punch-Out runners of all time, but he ran the game like 10, 15 years ago. He actually met Mike Tyson, and he had him sign a book that he had made about the game.
Ooh.
And he seemed to be, apparently he was interested in that. So,
Did he punch him?
what's that?
Did Mike Tyson punch him after?
I don't think so, because he looked pretty not beaten up looking.
Well,
in the
that's why he
picture.
lost the world record. He didn't take the punch.
Mm.
It could be. That could
Yeah,
be
you gotta
it.
take the punch.
Yeah.
Always gotta take the punch.
You can always take the punch.
Yeah.
What do you think is more impressive? Do you think you'd get more street cred by saying that you got punched by Mike Tyson instead of
And live to
the
tell.
world record?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that'd be pretty impressive.
That's a good question. Yeah, live to tell the tale of getting punched by Mike Tyson.
That'd be a good video for you.
I could hear him
Yeah.
scratching his chin. You're really asking him the brain busters today.
Mhm.
Just a childish game of Would You Rather.
Hey, you guys asked me if I had any topics I wanted to discuss before I came on. I wasn't expecting it to go to this angle, I'll be honest.
This guy brought all the stuff. He brought like the war on Ukraine and AI development, but we've just been Mike Tyson the whole time.
Mike Tyson punching him, yeah.
Well, I don't think you get to talk to too many people about Mike Tyson on this podcast, right? So,
Well, this is the Mike Tyson podcast.
No, we actually talk about it each week. It's
Yeah.
a developing topic.
Somehow we're on episode 300 something, and it's always just every week Mike Tyson.
He's the gift that keeps on giving.
Well, not really. Most of our episodes are silence because we just go, yeah, he's there.
I still wouldn't want to be punched by him this week, Andrew.
Yeah, I haven't changed my mind, believe it or not. Let's go to the polls. Yep, it's 100% would prefer not to be punched. Look at that.
All right, Salt, did you have any topics that you wanted to talk about before we wrap here?
Oh God, not really. My only thing was just I wanted to make sure we talked enough about me getting punched by Tyson, and I think we've covered that pretty well.
We covered it.
Perfect,
yeah.
perfect.
We got there.
Mm-hmm.
You sure you don't want to ask me if I'm coming out of retirement for House of Caravan?
Sure. Are you coming out of retirement for House of Caravan, Charlie?
No, still no.
Damn it.
Why
How
not?
about
Why not?
Mr. Krabs overdoses on ketamine?
No, I've hung up the mantle there too. I'm washed.
Why?
Defend the title.
Okay,
Yeah, why?
Charlie, would you rather come out of retirement for House of Caravan or get run over by a caravan? That's a brain buster.
Driven by Mike Tyson.
You're gonna have to give me a second. Yeah, that one's
Just
tough.
think about it. Take your time.
Yeah, I guess I'd come out of retirement. Fuck.
Oh, you pussy. Fucking
You
loser.
pussy.
I know.
This
fuck.
fucking guy.
Alrighty, guys. That's going to do it for this episode of the podcast. Salt, shout out where people can find you, even though they probably don't need much introduction or anything like that. But still,
You
go
can
ahead.
find me on YouTube at Summoning Salt. Yeah, that's the main place.
Yeah, there we go. And also, as a final note, this is the final episode that'll be airing on Charlie's YouTube channel. We'll be moving to our own dedicated YouTube channel starting next week for next week's episode. So you can find the link in the description below. It would be great if you could all join us there. That would be fantastic. We're going to upload additional content, shorts, clips, all that good kind of stuff, daily stuff, really. So go check that out.
More than that
The
too,
link will be
like
below.
exclusive shows. It's mainly just so now we can do more than one official production per week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Have it
It'll be
spread its wings and fly. Do
Mhm.
more with it.
It's the right move, really.
Yeah. You know, being on
Yeah.
Charlie's channel, it's great. Got eyes on it. Good place to be. But we gotta have it, you know, make it its own thing. Do more with it. Expand.
Mhm.
Grow.
So, and then next week we announce that the show shut down.
Yeah, we get bored. Too much work.
People didn't like the new channel, so we just quit.
Yeah, fuck it.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. Go check out the new channel. Audio platforms all still the same. Still got Spotify, iTunes. Most of you guys listen to that.
Most
on there anyway.
importantly, the show is not changing. Like moving to this channel, it's the same old great show that you've come to know and love, just in a different place.
Mhm.
We are not changing the
So
show.
go check it out there. Links below. Patreon.com/theofficialpodcast for additional shows. Podophiles, for example. That's getting a name change for the YouTube channel. We're not allowed to use
Here's
that
the
on
thing we're
YouTube.
doing that's no longer called this. You'll never find it.
But you can find it on Patreon. Patreon.com/theofficialpodcast.
Recorded an episode today, fresh off the press. I think Jackson
It was
wanted to
awful.
release it
Yeah, it's coming out tonight.
in a good
All
way.
right, yeah, that's it. We'll see you over on the new channel. Please go subscribe, join us there. Thank you, and go check out Summoning Salt's videos. They are fantastic.
Yes,
and
they
thank you,
really
Salt.
are.
They are very, very good.
Thank you, Salt, for joining us for this episode. Really appreciate you spending time with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
All right, bye everyone.
Bye-bye.
All right,
Bye, everyone.
see you guys.
Adios.